Hi there, this is Linda and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm putting together my Project Life spread for the week of January 6th through January 12th, 2025, and I'm working with the Nordic Nights collection from Cocoa Daisy. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so this is the second week of January. And I'm super excited about this one. I'm going to be using the Cocoa Daisy Nordic Nights collection, which was for January 2025. So I've been on the Cocoa Daisy creative team for a year now. This is my second year. And last year I did not really do much of Project Life using the kits because I'm on the creative team. I get my kits early and I do projects in the month that the kit releases so that I can provide examples for people who want to know what the products look like when they are purchasing them. Because the kits are released before the actual month, I usually don't use them in my Project Life because they are very themed for the month and they don't usually make sense. So for example, this kit is a winter theme, which is amazing for January, but didn't work so well for November when it came out. And they do it that way so that you will have your kit in time to create that month at the beginning of the month, which is super nice. As a subscriber from various brands, like, I know how annoying it is to see the collection come live and it be the month and you want to use it, but you can't because you're waiting for it. So anyways, I wasn't using these kits in my Project Life album, and I got a lot of requests from people asking me to do this because they wanted to see examples in Project Life. So I asked the brand if they were okay with me saving one of my projects and one of my videos to do during the month itself so that you guys could see examples of using these kits in Project Life. And they said yes. So that's what I'm gonna do here. If you like this and you like this format where you see one video from me unboxing the kit and working with it during the month it releases, and a second video using it during the month itself in Project Life, let me know, because that feedback will be very helpful for me to know what to do going forward and for the brand to know if this was a good decision to let me do this. So anyways, without anything else to say about that, I'm going to get into my spread. So I have to say, this Nordic Nights collection is probably one of my favorite kits ever from Cocoa Daisy. Like, it's just gorgeous. And I'm just trying to figure out like what pieces I want to use. So I also used it in my Hobonichi cousin for this weekly spread. Of course, I used my icon stickers from various brands in the week, but then I used this collection to kind of set it up ahead of time. And something I've been doing in my Hobonichi cousin, if you are new here or new to my process, I used my Hobonichi cousin, the weekly spread, to keep track of what happened during the week so that when I'm working on my Project Life, I can flip back through here and see kind of what stories I want to tell and what happened. I have been adding in here a note to myself of what collection I'm using, because sometimes that will kind of spark the stories that I want to tell. So I'm just kind of looking through here. I also have this place where I do some highlights. So the highlights this week were I started painting my craft room, which took most of the weekend. We also got a new coffee table in the reading room, so I have some photos from that. I got a new Switch game, but otherwise it was kind of a boring week. Well, not boring, but just normal everyday life, work stuff. It was super cold out, same types of things that I've been doing. So I'm thinking I probably want like a bullet point list card. And I really like this card, the reading, watching, eating, going, but I also, these houses are like my favorite thing. So I don't know if I can commit to using this side because I love that side so much. I'm gonna think about it. This would also be really cute for a bullet point list. I like this one for the craft room redo. And I also like, there's so many quote ones that I really like. So this fresh starts would also be good for the craft room redo. I do need to journal about doing that. And shall we begin? I'm gonna cut that out for sure for the craft room. So this kit is very like new year, but I'm redoing my craft room, which kind of fits that too. There's the Happy New Year. Let's see, time for some new things. I like that next to that. Let's see here. Just trying to think what, so I have this to journal about my craft room redo. And then I have this for my bullet point list. This, I can just do something about like how I'm feeling currently. And then I just love this card. I love the little houses. I also am obsessed with this pattern paper, which I've already used some. I wish the houses were on a pattern paper, but I don't think they are. No. And I wish that they had been a washi tape too, because I am obsessed with those houses. They're just this little washi strip. I love this pattern paper. I think I'm going to use it just as a filler card maybe. I'm not sure. Let me think. And this card's really nice too. This one. I do have some 4x6 pockets here, which I just didn't really, I was just kind of treating them as 3x4 pockets because I have only 3x4 photos. I didn't print any 4x6 photos. I just didn't have any horizontal photos this week. I do have more stickers that are those houses. I think what I'm gonna do is just put you guys on fast forward because I'm trying to talk and think and that doesn't always work so well. So I'm gonna put you guys on voiceover and work on figuring out how I actually want this spread laid out and where I want my journaling. And I might actually start putting pieces of it together before I actually get something situated in every pocket. I know that's not normally my process, but there's just so many good pieces in this kit. I'm having a hard time narrowing it down and really deciding what I want where.
Okay, so I had a lot of fun with this one. I'm starting with my title card with the calendar card. The kits with the pocket cards from Coco Daisy come with these monthly cards. They did this last year too. I don't know how long they've been doing it, but they're continuing it in 2025. And I love that they are double-sided with the Monday start because I'm a Monday start person, so I'm able to use the calendar side that I like. I'm trying to decide which cards here I'm going to use for my journaling and trying to commit myself to this enjoying card with the reading, watching, eating, and going. And I decided I'm just going to go for it. I have the houses on other things. I love that house paper card, but this one just fits what the story I want to tell better. And for me, I always prioritize the story I want to tell over my favorite supplies. So I'm filling this in with the book I was reading, the show we're watching right now. For eating, I just put that we're enjoying some simple dinners because that's just generally what we've been doing right now, and that we've been eating Haagen-Dazs in the evenings. And that I've been trying to stay inside as much as possible because it's been so cold and windy is what I wrote in the going, because I'm not really going anywhere because it's January. And I don't really go anywhere in January if I can avoid it because I hate the cold so much. And I am really a homebody year round, but especially in the winter. So I'm just looking over on my Hobonichi Cousin weekly spread to see some ideas of things to write down. I was looking over what the dinners were that we had this week because I do keep track of that before filling this out, because I was thinking maybe for the eating I could write if there was something of note. The other big journaling card I have right here is this Fresh Starts one. And my plan for that one is to tell the story of painting my craft room. which is perfect for this card that says fresh starts. But at the same time, I don't love that this card is dark blue. So I leave it there on my desk for a while because I'm not sure yet if I'm going to commit to it, because I don't like journaling on super dark cards. So I'm moving on to this Shall We Begin paper or card, and I'm going to punch this one out. I considered cutting out the words, but I decided to punch it into a 2-inch circle instead. And I'm going to add it onto this photo of my craft room, taped and ready to paint. I thought that this was perfect for beginning my painting job. Of course, this sentiment was because this was a new year kit for January, but I'm also beginning this project. So you could definitely use this kit for a variety of things. It doesn't have to be new year. If you're using it and you want to document other winter stories, it doesn't have to be early in January. I'm just taping these 2 cards together because they're going to go into a 4x6 pocket. I really love that filler card. It says, like the seasons, we do not need to justify change. I just decided to leave it exactly as is. It was beautiful. It had a lot of white space, which was good to balance out my photos, and it was perfect for the change of redoing my craft room. So here I am struggling with this fresh starts card. So I struggled with it for a couple reasons. 1, because it was dark, and 2, because it had that little spot for you to put like the dates in, and that didn't really work for me. Partially because the card is so dark and I didn't really want to put the dates in. So I pulled my stamps over. I was considering stamping it, and then I decided to move on to this currently card. So this card says, today I'm feeling, and this is why. So what I decided to do was stamp out happy, because this was kind of a good positive week. I've had a pretty good winter and start to the new year. Of course, not everything is sunshine and roses, but I'm trying to focus on the positive, and nothing really awful has happened. So what I decided to document on this card was journaling just about our new evening routine that we've kind of settled into. But I was still thinking about that. And so I was going through the die cut pieces and saw these big plastic words. And there are 3 of them in the kit. And when I have 3 words like that, or 3 products like that, I want to use them all. And I love those words, but I just could not find places for all of them. Mostly because 2 of them were too big for 3x4 pockets, the January and the Get Cozy. So I decided to just use 2, and I'm going to save the January one for another project. I will likely use it on a spread where it's my title, which I'm very happy to keep in my stash. I really like how that looks. The today I ended up putting on that photo of the new coffee table that we got. So that was one of the things that happened this week. We picked up a new coffee table for our reading room. And if you follow me over on Instagram, you know that we've been working on a reading room redo, and it's coming together pretty great. The biggest thing that's left to do is to add in a chair. I'm still searching for the perfect chair for me. And that's going to be one of my goals for March, because I need a chair for my craft room and a chair for the reading room, both comfortable chairs. So I'm searching for chairs, and I'm definitely going to document that and share about that in March, not in February because I'm going to be traveling, but more about that later. So I decided to put the today on top of that photo I took of the coffee table all set up in the reading room. And then the Get Cozy, I'm going to put on that photo of Pumpkin on that 4x6 card, but I haven't yet decided how I want to lay that out. Now I'm finally doing my journaling on this currently card and journaling about our winter or evening routine. So we obviously don't follow the same routine over time as people. I don't mean we as in me, but as people, we don't always have the same routine, but we do have routines that we follow day after day. And then at some point they change, they evolve, or they completely change for one reason or another. And one of the things I really like in Project Life is the opportunity to document those routines. So I wouldn't necessarily document what we do in the evenings regularly because it's something that happens every day. It's nothing special. And it really isn't anything special. You know, we do the dishes and clean up after dinner. We watch the TV show we're watching right now is Hannibal. We have some ice cream. We watch. I work on my cross stitch, and then I journal in bed and then read. And it's just been like a nice, cozy winter routine. And I like the opportunity to document it here because in a month or 2 months or 6 months, it probably will have evolved at some point, and we'll definitely finish this show at some point. And I just like to be able to look back and see those little moments of everyday life. I'm finally deciding to adhere this today down. So I had laid it on there and struggled with it because it was slightly too large to fit on that card. But I finally committed to it, and I just stapled it down with a tiny attacher and trimmed the edges off. I considered putting one of the snowflake puffy stickers in the O, but it just seemed too busy with everything going on in the photo, and I decided against it. But if you were using those on a different, more solid background, that might be a fun way to embellish. I'm going through all of the stickers now and just kind of trying to organize my supplies and see what I have to pull from to put onto different cards. I'm using some of the chipboard and putting them on a variety of the photos, and a lot of these chipboard and embellishment sentiments mention, the fresh start of a new year. And they all also work for the story of redoing my craft room. So I'm really enjoying that. But now I can't put it off any longer. I have to get this fresh starts card put together. And I decided to use one of the washi strips from the cousin sticker kit and just trim a piece on there. And it's actually not the washi ones. They are just regular stickers, but they're pattern strips to look sort of like washi. But it's not as translucent. So it covered up that part on the top of the card that had space for the date. And that made this card just work so much better for me. And then I'm doing my journaling. I still don't love the black journaling on the dark blue card. You definitely could use a white pen for this, but I've always struggled to find a white pen that I love. I have some that work, but I just wasn't really feeling it at the moment. I wanted to just use my regular pen. And honestly, in person, it looks perfectly fine. It's completely readable. I don't know. I just struggled with the dark card. I wish that the top part had been the dark blue behind where it says fresh starts, and the journaling piece had white in it. And I could have cut this card up, which I did consider doing, but at the end, I ended up to just go with it. And I did that partially because not only I know I struggled with it, but with it next to my photos, that blue actually looked really nice. So I was actually super happy to have the dark blue card in the overall layout. Just wasn't great for my journaling. So anyways, on this card, I'm journaling about my craft room redo and what I was working on this weekend. So I am repainting my craft room as the big first step to reorganizing and redecorating my craft room. And painting it is very hard because I have so much stuff in my craft room. And of any other room in the house, my craft room has the most stuff. It has a lot of furniture. It has a lot of things. It would just be very, very difficult to move it all to paint. But I really wanted to. I really needed to. I had this blue accent wall that I was super sick of, and it didn't work with the look I was going for. And the white walls just needed to be repainted. They had the base white from the builder that it just isn't good quality. So I committed to painting it, and I came up with this plan where this weekend I painted 2 of the walls, and then in 2 weeks I'm going to shift everything over and paint the other 2 walls. So hopefully that works. And if you want to see more about that, you can follow me on Instagram, where I will share in my stories, and I will be sharing a video here in the future about my craft room redo, so stay tuned. Moving on to this 4x6 card. So I trimmed that photo of pumpkin down slightly so that it was framed on that card, and added the Get Cozy on top of it with my tiny attacher. The white on the white, again, it's not huge contrast, but I actually really think it looks nice, especially in person. And just to give it a little bit of a pop, I added one of the die cuts underneath the word cozy there that has a little bit of contrast between cozy and the die cut. Now I'm moving on to my bullet point list. So pretty much every single Project Life spread I do, I use the same technique where I add in a bullet point list of various stories and points and details from the week that aren't represented in the photos or the longer journaling. So these are just random little things. So what I wrote this week are lots of switch to relax and rest after work, especially getting into slow flow yoga again, wildfires in California, LA, LA is burning. It's so sad to see from so far away, my home. If you guys don't know, I'm from California. Lots of legislation work. Picked up the new coffee table for the reading room and put away December daily. So those are the types of things that I mentioned there, just like little things that are going on this week, stuff in the news. Sometimes I will print front pages from newspapers for news things like that, but I didn't include one this time for the California fires because I didn't get one that I really liked, and I had a lot of photos and things I wanted to include in the spread, so I just mentioned it in a bullet point. I am just going ahead and sliding everything into the pocket. I apologize for my head getting in the frame. Sometimes I struggle to see how to put it into the pocket. But then here is a look at this completed spread. You guys, I love how this one turned out. Let me know in the comments if you like seeing me use my Cocoa Daisy kits in my Project Life album. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And as always, I hope to see you guys all in the next one. Bye!